What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sales Stories in Real Life, episode 17. This is the show where professional salespeople share their experiences on times that they were on the receiving end and they were being sold something. Today, we've got a hilarious guest in the house, Brian Montoya. He is the head of growth at SalesBricks, where you could sell software in seconds. It's a better way to sell software.
Woo.
Brian, welcome to the show. I hear you had a real interesting experience on social media with some mud. What happened there?
I did. This is the second experience with mud. The first one I actually had to take down. It was a video of me in it, and there was a lot of skin. So the second experience was with mud, the tea. It is a chai. And I was on Instagram and kind of clicking through. And this was, I guess, right around the time Reels was coming around. And I'm clicking through, scrolling, and I get stopped by a video. And I'm one of these people that I can't, if you see any of my videos, I don't like shooting anything more than 30 seconds long. If it's 45 seconds long, it's the longest thing I've ever done. I have a very short attention span. Or so I thought. So I'm clicking through and I get stopped by this beautiful sounds of waves. And the first thing that catches my attention is I can't drink caffeine or something about caffeine being too much. And then they start digging into a caffeine substitute. I think the first couple things were like caffeine substitute, maybe is what I read in the caption. And then it started like the sounds and the visuals, right? And it was for Mudwater. It was the founder going on for a minute and a half. I think it was fucking longer than a minute and a half, man. It was like, let's say it was a minute and a half. That is like an eternity for me based on what I just said. And I found myself by the end of it clicking through the entire thing and purchasing. And it was the first thing, one of the only things I've ever purchased on Instagram stores or whatever. Like, and I think I ended up looking at it. It was the spot was well over 2 minutes, and I ended up clicking through and bought it. And I still have the subscription that I actually only recently just canceled. But that time was the only time that I was sold, and particularly because of how long the asset was, the thing that got my attention. I couldn't believe it, and that's why I said I thought that I had a short attention span. I don't. It's just if I get caught for the right thing, you have my undivided attention for God fucking knows how long.
So let's break that down for a second. Like, what's going on during that minute and a half video, right? So you got your hook, right? They catch you right away in the beginning with the caffeine substitute.
Yeah.
What else, right? Like, because you're not really listening to videos more than 30, 45 seconds, and you're in this whole thing for a minute and a half, possibly longer. Like,
yeah.
What else was the founder talking about, right? Like, okay. What took you on that journey?
I honestly think, and this was because it was the founder speaking, and it came from like I believed him. It sounded like he was speaking in earnest. There was beautiful video. The audio was beautiful. It was like chocolatey. The sound. I'm a very ASMR person. Like it just got me, man. I was like, oh, the people all looked like they were enjoying themselves. He made it compelling. They made it compelling. Like he believed in the product, and I was it was honestly hypnotizing. Really, I think the video was the biggest thing for me. That really, and again, him talking about it and believing in it, and him talking about the fact that like, oh, and also that there were other benefits to it. It's not just that like, you ever get the jitters? You know, he started with that. Like, yeah, I get the jitters with too much caffeine, which is insane to say as a Colombian. I peddle coffee and I push it onto people, but I can't drink too much of it. So he's talking about that. And then he starts going into all these other things that he's at. Like, if you look at it, it's like he's literally probably said these things. I wasn't mad at coffee, just disappointed. I think that was the hook. I wasn't mad at coffee, just disappointed, right? And then the beautiful visuals. With 1/7 the caffeine of a cup of coffee, mud supports focus, energy, and immunity without the jitters, crash, and dependency. This drink fuels your morning ritual in a way that would make Spartan smile and Buddha proud. And at that time in my life, I was looking for like a ritual thing to get to like dive into to like start my mornings instead of like looking at my fucking phone and like just being, you know, a robot, right? I want to start with this. I can't do coffee. This chai bullshit sounds really good. And then boom, it just hits me and then it's got extra lion's mane. I don't even know what they do, but for a while I was all about this stuff, really. So does that answer the question?
That answers the question. And this
Okay.
goes on to a much bigger point, is that they weren't selling you the product, right? They were selling you a point of view, right? They weren't selling you a caffeine substitute, though that was the hook. They were selling you your morning ritual that you wanted, right? And that's
Yes.
so much
Yeah.
greater. And then you also touched on some really good things, which is just, especially in our remote day and age, the impact that good video and good audio quality can have is an investment that's worth its weight in gold. So let me ask you, before this, had you ever tried chai before? Because my wife is Indian. I have chai all the time. I love it. I can second that it's not a jittery feeling afterwards. Like, had you tried chai before, or was there an education involved there?
So I had tried chai, but my education was minimal in the sense that I called it chai tea. Okay. That's like saying, you know, right? What I mean? It's like chai is tea, you MF. So yeah, I
Coca-Cola
didn't know
soda
much
pop.
about it. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know much about it, but I always liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good kind of. I remember going to not on dates with millions of people, but going on like coffee dates or something, and ordering chai because I knew if I had the coffee, I would have trouble. I would be bouncing off the walls, and it was just like made my heart rate go crazy. So I'd order that, but that was my experience with it.
So let's bring out some takeaways for the B2B sellers that are
Okay.
listening, right? Like for those folks that are actually selling, right? This was very much a copy and a video and audio thing, but like what can a B2B salesperson take away from this, right? And literally get better at their job.
I believe that making it a compelling story is very important, and how to get to compelling story is, I think it, to me, the biggest part of it is truly believing in how your product solves the problem at hand. So they clearly dug into people who have problems with caffeine, right? Whether they like it or not, right? So, however they segmented and got down to me, they knew that there were people that kind of have some issues with caffeine, and this is a decent substitute. So they truly understood what that person might be going through or feeling, and the first couple lines of that, I don't remember it exactly, but I remember the first couple lines spoke directly to me. And then him talking to it and saying, I go through that problem. I've truly gone through this and I've experienced it. I know what it's like. And this is why we have this. We built it because of that. Right. So truly believing in the problem that you're solving, I think is really important to putting forward a very compelling story to whoever you want to speak to. And that, how do you do that is really, I think you really have to live it sometimes. And that's difficult, Alex, because there's so many people that may be listening that sell products to Martech. Have you been in marketing? A lot of people don't, right? You've got your social media gurus out there that say pick up people with no experience in whatever it may be. And there's nothing wrong with no experience, but I think there is some experience needed if you want to be compelling. Because I can tell if you fucking mean it or not. I can tell. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is make it compelling, believe in it. Right? Be a really good actor or actually do it, because people can tell if you don't.
I would be remiss to not give a quick shout out to Sam McKenna. This is a classic show me you know me, right? The ad showed you that they know you. They know what you're going through. They
Sam's
know
great.
what people who are looking for coffee substitutes and caffeine substitutes want
Yeah.
to hear, what they're going through. That's amazing, man. Brian, this has been so fun. I have worked really hard holding a laugh this whole time. So why don't you take a minute and plug some with the audience? I know the Sales Bricks team is working hard out here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been fun getting to know you in the DMs and now a few times on video. This is like feels like the new IRL. I think that you're doing a really good job and just keep this going. I can't believe that I'm already episode 17. I think they say that once you get to 20, you can start to figure out if it's the real deal or not. And I think my money's on that it will be the real deal because I like this thesis, the sales stories. So you told me to promote myself, and I guess that's my way of promoting myself is talking about you. Follow Sales Bricks on socials. I guess if you can add the link tree here, that'd be great. But add Sales Bricks on. We're all over the place. Follow me on TikTok for batshit content around B2B SaaS. I promise you that you aren't going to learn anything from it. I think it's like Montoya NYC. And that's pretty much it. We're having some fun over at Sales Bricks. If you are having trouble raising money, if you're having trouble selling software and you want to do more with less, you're going to want to speak to the Sales Bricks crew. We are turning CPQ space on its head. We are Shopify for B2B SaaS. That's all I got, man. Thank you.
Shopify for B2B SaaS, folks. You heard it here first. And Brian, we will both link the Sales Bricks link tree, and we will include your TikTok in the comments when the episode is released. This has been a blast. Again, make sure that you check out Sales Bricks on all socials. They are having a lot of fun, and they are definitely changing the game. Buy Sales Bricks. Brian, this has been a great time. We will catch you all next week.